This is your local news leader, News 10 ABC in the morning.
Governor Cuomo expected to be questioned by the Attorney General this weekend, what that could mean for the ongoing investigation into sexual harassment claims against him.
I've lived in the area my whole life. Irene and Sandy were pretty tough, but this seemed to be way worse.
Rensselaer County still under a state of emergency following torrential downpours this week. How long that order is expected to last?
And it's a breakthrough that so many have been waiting for when Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the border could reopen for non-essential travel.
It's about time. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us. I'm News 10's Mary Wilson.
And I'm Ryan Peterson, TGIF. Let's get over to meteorologist Jill Swed. She's standing by with a gorgeous sunrise shot over there.
Right? It's a nice way to kick off a Friday with some sunshine, even though it's feeling...
And your drive times all on track, 20 minutes 6 and 6 for the major commutes. Download our free News 10 ABC app. That's how you can set up those custom traffic alerts. Rensselaer County remains under a state of emergency after Wednesday's storm that damaged homes, businesses, roads, and utilities.
Juliana Bruno is live this morning in Sand Lake, one of the major areas of destruction from all that water. Juliana, what's it looking like out there on this Friday morning?
Well, Ryan and Mary, Taborton Road here is still closed off. A major portion of it anyway, from Miller Hill Road all the way down to Mosier Road. There was torrential rain and flooding that came through on Wednesday, as we know, and this is just one example of the damage you can find here where this road collapsed in. Now take a look at this video of Wynenskill. That was one of the hardest hit areas. The road is pretty dry now, but at one point boats were literally going up and down the street. Crews completed 8 rescues. Wynenskill Creek rushed over into North Greenbush backyards, an above-ground pool barely hanging on. Now, this cleanup is going to take some time. Rensselaer County expects to be under a state of emergency for about 30 days. Coming up at 7 over on Fox 23, hear from some local residents about the cleanup they're having to deal with on their own. Live in Sand Lake for now, Juliana Bruno, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, Juliana. Cuomo under fire this morning now. According to the New York Times, the governor is expected to be questioned by the Attorney General's office about those allegations of sexual harassment.
And that questioning will reportedly be taking place on Saturday. The investigation is being handled by outside attorneys, but is being overseen by New York Attorney General Letitia James.
The Times also reporting that the scheduling of the governor's interview means the investigation could be wrapping up soon. However, no official timeline has ever been given.
Governor Cuomo's senior advisor, Rich Azzopardi, releasing this statement on that report, saying, quote, "We have said repeatedly that the governor doesn't want to comment on this review until he has cooperated. But the continued leaks are more evidence of the transparent political motivation of the Attorney General's review."
We will continue to follow that story for you as it develops. You can always rely on News 10 on air or online at news10.com. Happening today, members of the Rensselaer County Republican Committee will join gubernatorial candidate Lee Zeldin for an announcement at the Rensselaer Esplanade. That's happening a little bit later this morning at 11. Also today, gubernatorial candidate Andrew Giuliani, the son of former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, will be visiting the Capital Region again in his ongoing tour of the state. He'll be meeting with residents in Mechanicville this afternoon at 1:30.
New this morning, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says that fully vaccinated American travelers may be allowed into the country by mid-August. The border has been closed for non-essential travel since the pandemic began, causing many U.S. businesses to be at an economic disadvantage and leaving many without options to see their loved ones. Trudeau said that more details would be shared about the reopening plan next week.
New this morning, an internal investigation has been launched into a Springfield, Massachusetts police officer following a controversial Facebook post. Officer Hector Santiago allegedly sharing a photoshopped image of George Floyd holding a gun to a pregnant woman. Santiago is currently on inside duty due to an injury. Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno says that the investigation into this needs to be completed, but that he has, quote, zero tolerance for these situations. Mayor Sarno and the police department now looking into adding sensitivity and diversity training requirements for their officers. A woman from Goshen is in jail after a man was killed in a crash on Route 7 in Niskayuna. Now the police department is asking you for your help. Police say on July the 1st, crash happened on Route 7 near Leishakil Road. A car driven by Gina Hassan crashed into a car driven by 77-year-old Dennis Farrell. Farrell's wife also injured in this crash. Hassan is charged with manslaughter and assault, also accused of driving while intoxicated. However, Niskayuna police are still searching for a black Jeep also believed to be involved in the crash. If you witnessed this or maybe have any relevant security video from cameras on your home, you're asked to give police a call.
For years, the Rensselaer County Legislature has been working to create an animal abuse registry, and on Wednesday it was unanimously passed. The registry will create a central database for shelters like the Mohawk Hudson Humane Society. They can quickly look up the names and addresses of people who have been convicted of animal abuse and post their mugshots on their website. Ashley Jeffrey Book, the CEO of the Humane Society, says this can help them avoid giving animals to a bad home.
We are right there to help the animals, rehabilitate them either medically or behaviorally, and make sure that we can give them their best second chance in going into a loving home.
Officials say creating local laws like these will help put an end to animal cruelty. Next week, the Greene County Legislature is holding a public hearing to discuss passing their own animal abuse registry.
In the race to vaccinate this morning, Schenectady County will be holding several school vaccine pods over the next few days. County health officials will be administering the Pfizer vaccine today at Van Antwerp Middle School. That's in Niskayuna from 1 to 4. Then next week on Tuesday, they'll be holding a similar pod at Scotia Glenville High School, also from 1 to 4. Appointments are available, but they are not necessary.
Yesterday was opening day at the Saratoga Racecourse, and for many it was a long time coming after the track had been closed to fans last year due to COVID-19 restrictions. Fans flooded the course to enjoy the races yesterday, the betting, of course the food and fashion. One fan even coming all the way from Boston. He's excited to be back at the track in person when he couldn't go inside last year, but he did rent a room last year across the street and watch from afar.
Okay. The best horses in the country, if not the world, the highest purses and the greatest jockeys as well.
The track season runs until the beginning of September, and we'll have much more. Now the race course will be honoring our healthcare heroes. That's coming up in the next half hour.
6:39 right now. Coming up here on News 10, a late night craving gone terribly wrong.
I'll say. Up next, the bizarre story of how two women broke into this New York City restaurant and the owner's surprising reaction to the now viral security video.
And as cities across the U.S. continue to open up, one major West Coast county is saying not so fast. The reason for their sudden change in policy on indoor mask wearing.
Hey, if you know of someone giving back or making a difference in your community, we'd love to highlight their story. Send us the information in an email to news@news10.com. And be sure to share the love with that hashtag there, GivingOn10.
You're watching News 10 ABC, your local news leader.